First off, can you hear me? You want to send Norm Edelman to the Senate. I want an opportunity to serve with him. I want somebody who knows the grit and the heart and soul necessary to start and grow a business and how tough that can be in the good times and the bad. And that type of understanding in the state Senate will be invaluable. And I look forward to you being there, Norm. I really do. We both started in local government. I was a selectman and board of estimate and finance and started a small business. But you, most importantly, tonight, you're going to have some decisions to make. You have to decide what Democrat gives us the best opportunity to beat the Republicans in November, and who has the executive experience to help steer the state through some pretty complicated times. Everybody ought to make their own case. I'd like to make the case that I think this is the time when you want people who haven't necessarily spent all their life at Harvard, who bring a different experience, come in from the outside, give the Democrats and give the state of Connecticut a fresh start when it comes to how we do business up there. And I think that's what will give Democrats the best opportunity to win in November. And that's what I've been doing my whole life. You know, I started a business 35 years ago, and we took on the cable TV utilities. I thought they were gouging consumers, and we found a better way to deliver service at a lot less cost. And frankly, we need a little bit of that entrepreneurial fizz up in Hartford right now as well, to see how we can bring down costs and deliver a better quality of service. That's what I did, and that's what I'll do. You also need somebody who's not afraid to take on the entrenched interests. And some of you may remember, it was quite some time ago, but I really thought that George W. Bush had rushed this country into a ill-fated war, and I took on a member of my own party. And we stood up loud and clear. And a lot of people said, don't do it, don't jeopardize a safe seat. And we stood proudly for our progressive values. We had the biggest turnout in the history of Democratic primaries, and that's how Democrats win, when we stand up loud and clear for what we believe. I'll tell you, I'll be standing up. I'll be standing up every day for the folks that help make this state work. You know, the teachers, the firemen, the cops, the nurses. You know, there's been too much of putting down the state workers in this state, and that's going to stop right now. Look, I know, anytime you have a coach that blames his players, you got a problem with the coach. We have a problem with leadership in this state. I'm going to go every day and tell the folks how much we appreciate and respect the work they're doing for us, and they honor their commitment to us, and we're going to honor our commitment to them. I was chairman of the Pension Advisory Board, some years ago. I know the toughness we've got in terms of our pension crisis. I also know how to get through it in a fair and honest way, and that's what I pledge to do. I'm also been a teacher at Central Connecticut State for the last 8 years. I've been working hand in glove with labor and business, trying to find not just what we do to get through the next budget crisis, which is every 2 years or less now, but finding places where we can agree for long-term solutions. And there's a lot of agreement if you treat people with respect. And I found that, for example, you're going to be surprised. The commission's going to come out tomorrow, and they're going to support the idea that we have to invest in our transportation infrastructure. The greatest advantage the state has, one of the great advantages we have, is we are the gateway to New England, the gateway to the great markets of the Mid-Atlantic. And we're not taking advantage of that. We're going to have electronic tolling. We're going to put thousands of people to work. And we're going to make sure that from New London to New Haven to New York, Hartford, Waterbury, we are connected. This is a gateway. I worked with GE. I said, why did you leave? It wasn't taxes. It was transportation is what we had to do. And it also something, and Jonathan referred to this as well. I mean, there are thousands of good-paying jobs in this state going begging. Somebody asked me, we have a lousy economy in the state of Connecticut. No, we don't. We have a pretty good economy right now. We have a government that's getting in the way, a government that can't balance its budget, a government that borrows from the future and doesn't invest in the future. And the most important thing we can do is invest in education, invest in early childhood, invest in after-school activities, invest in community colleges so those people are ready to take the jobs at Pratt & Whitney and Sikorsky and Electric Boat that are now going over to Rhode Island and New York to fill those jobs, because there the community colleges are free and ours are filled. And I'm also going to stand up for Connecticut values, not Trump values, Connecticut values. And you want to make darn sure that this state stays true to what we believe. That starts with an economy that not only is growing and robust, but is fair. And a fair economy includes a $15 minimum wage, and it doesn't just raise the wages of those at the bottom, it raises all wages and allow people to earn a living wage. And I do believe in labor, and I believe that labor will be one of the ways that we continue to fight for our middle class in this country, in this state. I'm also going to be a champion of the women in this state. I don't like the tone and the message I see coming out of Washington, D.C. right now. And it's easy to say, hey, look, I'm going to support paid family leave, paid medical leave, because it's the right thing to do. Look, I'm also going to challenge from a different point of view. Christina and I were just talking about this a little earlier. You know, we have an aging workforce. We need everybody able to work, working right now. Most of the families in places like Hartford, maybe even around here, many of them are single-parent families. Most of them are single moms. And they're in many cases not earning 78 cents on the dollar. In business, you are nuts if you don't provide paid family leave that allows that mom to continue working when somebody's sick or they're giving birth. You're crazy. You're going to lose a good person that helps make your team work. And I'm happy to take that message to the CBIA and whoever else is standing in the way of these reforms. I'll leave you with just one other message. There's a lot of good news and happy talk you're going to hear here tonight, but we do have an ongoing budget crisis, billion-dollar budget deficits as far as the eye can see. It's casting a pall of pessimism over the state of Connecticut, and that's about to end. Now, I'm going to talk to the business community. I'm telling them now's the time to stop bad-mouthing the state of Connecticut, to start believing in the state of Connecticut again, start investing in the state of Connecticut again. And we're going to solve this, and we're going to solve this working together. Look, I just turned 64 years old, so there's something sort of liberating about this. I mean, I'm not doing this for the next gig or going down to Washington or whatever it might be, but I met Annie in the state, and Emily and Lindsay and Teddy, my kids were born here. I started my business here, and I get sick and tired of saying, I'm out of here, I'm moving GE here, I'm moving Mass Mutual there. You know, I'm tired of, I want my kids to be able to come here. And Emily is back here working with me now, and I want this to be a place of opportunity for them with vibrant cities and great small towns. We're not going to have champion cities at the expense of our towns. We're a small state. We're going to do that together. And, you know, I come from a part of the state where a lot of them get a little cynical and say, I'm out of here. I'm going to Florida. No more of this. Well, not me. I'm sticking. And my job as your governor to convince each and every one of you want to stick to. You want to make sure that this is a state where you want to be, where your kids can be, where you can grow a business. It's a place of opportunity. And I'm Ned Lamont, and that's why I'm running for governor. Thank you.
Any questions?
I call on people. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Lamont, are you familiar with legislation for medical aid in dying?
I'm probably not as familiar as I should be, but why don't you finish the question? I'll tell you my life experience.
Basically, why I'm asking about it, because such a bill is being possibly introduced to the Public Health Committee. What it would do is it would enable a person who has been designated by his or her doctor as having about 6 months of living left, and this person can heal to 6 months or less, I should say. Person can heal to the doctor to get medication, which they could take if and when they want to end their life if they feel that they're suffering. The polls that have been done in past years show that majority of people in Connecticut are in favor of this. So when this bill is introduced, if it should make it out of public health and make it rounds onto the floor, would you support such a bill?
I'd have to look at it, but generally speaking, I don't want government getting in the way of decisions that families and people make themselves. And this sounds like just a case like that. And like, I don't wanna get, morbid, but, I lost both my parents in the last few years, and, everybody says, living will and all that. My dad just made me make one promise to him: I never wanna go back to a hospital ever again. So I am sympathetic, exactly, Phyllis, to everything you're saying. How we work that out, I'll be sympathetic. You got a long night, well, one more, it's up to you, Brian.
One quick. The Janus decision that's gonna happen in Washington, which is probably gonna go upside down. How do you think the state can protect, organized labor if, the federal government basically says, we're not protected?
The Janus decision fundamentally threatens the right of public employees to organize. It could threaten more than that. And I've been talking to labor right now. I've been saying, we ought to think, what are going to be the recommendations? What can states like Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey, and Rhode Island, what should we be doing to make sure that we protect our rights to organize here, and public employees unions to organize, have people involved? And I'll tell you something else. It's not bad as a business guy to be a loud proponent of collective bargaining. Collective bargaining did not get us into this pension mess. It was the fact that years of slightly corrupt governors, or very corrupt governors, made promises to people, and then they didn't honor those promises. They didn't invest in that. And that had nothing to do with collective bargaining, and that didn't have much to do with the union agreements. It had to do something else. Collective bargaining is going to be a collaborative, helpful way to work through this. Everybody, thank you so much. You got a long night. I appreciate the chance.